Musicians have been inspired by alcohol since the days of traveling troubadours. Booze is a loosener of lips and a loosener of hips, and a shared experience for many adults, although respect to our sober brothers and sisters, especially in these challenging times. The summer months in particular have long been associated with adult beverages, margaritas on the deck, wine on the beach, a nice cold beer at a barbecue. So for the second of our 2025 summer specials, we want to look back at the popular songs dedicated to alcohol or about consuming it as we debate the best drinking songs of all time. I do in fact enjoy pina coladas, though I am less enthusiastic about getting caught in the rain. I'm your host, Eric Resniak. Please welcome my panelists for this episode, a bunch of potent podcasters. Our first panelist has got friends in low places. It's Andrea Guerrero.
No, Eric, I am the friend in the low place.
Oh, well, when I think low places, I think bottoms, and you are in good company on this podcast, my friend. Next, he ain't got a care in the world, but he's got plenty of Kim Crawford's Sauvignon Blanc. It's Johnny Minogue.
Fun fact, Kim Crawford isn't a woman or related to Joan Crawford. I always know where to find the boys and the booze.
Tina, bring me the Aperol Spritz. And finally, our last panelist is no stranger to Tubthumping. It's Zach Derby.
Oh, Eric, thank you. That is accurate, although Tubthumping at this stage of my life is just my kids at bath time refusing to listen to me, continually throwing everything around the tub.
The important question is, do they get knocked down and then get up again?
Oh, gosh, yes.
We're never going to get him down. And up in the producer booth, we have Derek Makita, who honestly would rather be wasting away again in Margaritaville. If you're curious about how we ended up with this saucy 16, become a Patreon supporter of our little show, or listen to the 3-minute preview, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget, you can head to this episode on greatpopculturedebate.com to find the listener bracket so you can play along with us at home. While you're there, check out some of our other related episodes, including Best Summer Song, Best Breakup Song, and Best Struttin' That Ass Song. And with that out of the way, get ready to pick your poisons as we get into these debates. First up, the panel unanimously decided to keep savoring Red Wine by UB40, a 1 seed, which meant there was nobody to cry over There's a Tear in My Beer by Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr., a 4 seed. Did anyone want to say anything before we let go of Hank? One thing that I will say about this episode, there are a bunch of songs and artists we have never talked about on this podcast. There's several male country artists, which were anathema, but I'm glad that they're here. Any thoughts, Andrea? What do you think about Tear in My Beer? Is it a song that you enjoy?
I was a little surprised with myself that I didn't pick that song when I was filling out my bracket. This was, as we're going to find out, they're all tough choices. But when I think of sad, alcoholic cowboys, that's the song that comes to mind. And what more iconic way can you honor that theme of life? I am a big fan of that sort of Western outlaw country. And that is just a very special song, I think, for that genre and for the generation as well. But it's up against Red Wine, which is... This whole bracket is full of iconic tunes, truly.
It literally is, honestly. For a kind of throwaway little silly topic, it's actually a bunch of really great songs. And that reminds me, we're going to put together a playlist that'll be on our website of all these drinking songs, and we're going to have a whole bunch more on there. So if you have suggestions that you want to put in, please let us know. Johnny Minogue, you wanted to say something?
I have 2 words. Go Hank!
Go Hank! Yes, thank you very much. I was trying to work it into the intro and I couldn't make it happen. So with that being said, we will be moving Red Wine by UB40 into round 2. Next, the panel is evenly split between 2 hip-hop bangers from the late 20th century, Brass Monkey by the Beastie Boys, a 3 seed, and Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg, a 2 seed. Zach, tell us why you're still swinging for this funky monkey. Andrea, tell us why you've got your mind on your money and your money on Gin and Juice. Andrea, please go first.
So like I just mentioned, the whole bracket is full of iconic songs, and very few are as iconic as Gin and Juice. When I was filling out the bracket, my rubric was kind of based on vibes. Is the song giving me the vibes of the alcohol that they're singing about, or the feeling, or whatever the theme is? And not that I condone drinking and driving, but were I to be rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on Gin and Juice, this is kind of what it would feel like and sound like. And whether or not that's because of this song or vice versa is to be determined. But I think this is one of those Snoop Dogg songs that everybody knows too, which is important, I think, for a lot of the songs on this bracket. Some of them are one-hit wonders and some of them are from big artists. And this is just such an iconic Snoop Dogg song. It's one that pops into my head frequently. There's so many times where I'm like just having conversations with people and a phrase or word comes up and then you just start singing this song in particular. And I like gin a lot. That's one of my favorite liquors, and there's not enough gin representation in alcohol songs.
Good point. Yeah, there's really not, and it's very cool and refreshing. Great argument. Zach, talk to us about Brass Monkey.
So Brass Monkey, Gin and Juice is iconic for Snoop Dogg, and Brass Monkey is very iconic with the Beastie Boys. You can say Beastie Boys in a few songs will come to mind. Brass Monkey is definitely one of them, which is especially popular, I remember, in college because it was equating to the shit that's going to get you fucked up. I mean, granted, Brass Monkey can be, depending on where you are, it's a couple different mixtures, rum, vodka, and orange juice, or other places. I know you can mix something else with orange juice. I was more familiar with rum and vodka because, hey, there's multiple types of alcohol. This will really work. And for me, I associated that more as just straightforward drinking. You're going to get screwed up. And when a lot of kids, everyone has their own experience, but when they start learning the effects and the experience of alcohol, a lot of it is around the college-ish age when you're away from mom and dad for the first time and you let your wings fly and then you wake up 2 days later in a different county going, damn that Brass Monkey.
Brass Monkey. That funky monkey. Johnny Minogue, where are you? Is it going to be Brass Monkey or Gin and Juice?
Well, I think that even though Brass Monkey got me out of my ecstasy mindset, my first rave, Gin and Juice is the first song I think of when I'm thinking of partying at a house party in the late 90s. So I'm going with Gin and Juice.
I'm sticking with Brass Monkey here because A, we've never discussed the Beastie Boys on this podcast, like literally ever. And we've discussed Mr. Dogg, the esteemed Mr. Dogg, multiple times, including this song, I believe on our best song of 1994. But it's a tie, and Snoop is the higher seed, so Snoop will advance. The other thing I will say, if you do not know this, Brass Monkey is the name of a pre-mixed cocktail, and for apparently a long time, people thought it was just the kind of term for mixing malt liquor and orange juice, and it was actually, I think, like a decade ago that Mike D from the Beastie Boys set people straight and was like, no, this was a specific mixed cocktail beverage that was made in Connecticut, and that's what we were getting fucked up on. I also like the fact that it is a song that, like Zach talked about, the college years experimenting. Much like Gin and Juice has that laid back, I'm getting completely fucked up on this alcohol. Brass Monkey is that, but like 8 hours earlier when you are bouncing off the walls and completely wrecking it, right? Like that's what Brass Monkey is. I love the energy of both of these songs. They're both great, but we will be moving Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg into round 2. Next, it's another even split between 4-seed Escape the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes and 1-seed Shots by LMFAO featuring Lil Jon. Johnny, tell us why you still want to keep throwing back shots, while I explained why Pina Colada's cream should rise to the top of this matchup. Johnny, please go first.
Yeah!
Yeah! You just won the Snatch Game on season 14. Congratulations.
I think I was wearing a similar jacket, too. So if you don't know, LMFAO, who were a short-lived late 2000s, early 10 electro house party hip-hop band who were part of the Gordy family, you wouldn't know it. They're fun party music, but a little throwaway. But Shots, I think, is their most amazing song. It was not a huge hit, but what it did was it was really the Little John part of the song that really made it the amazing song that it actually is. First of all, do you know how many times they say shots in the song Shots?
I need to know. I'm desperate to know.
77 times.
77 times.
So you can't do 77 shots. Now you could. I don't recommend it. I would say invite a friend or two or a few more. But LMFAO are kind of, even though the headliners, they're kind of the background. It's all about Little John. He's just such a powerhouse. He's hilarious. Some of the things he's singing, and he's going, well, the alcoholics, if you're not getting drunk, get your ass out the club. And then, if you don't know, he does a fiery menu of shots: Jaeger bomb, lemon drop, buttery nipples, Jello shots, kamikaze, three wise men, which is just three whiskeys altogether, which who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, you don't necessarily need to know any of the verses because it doesn't matter. You can just 77 times scream, shots, 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 shots. And you can even get grandma up and singing about shots. And yes, it would not be something that would be living long in the annals of pop culture if it wasn't for our friend Lil Jon.
Lil Jon, it's true. When I was listening to the songs for this, I first realized this is not a bracket that's really about the lyrics, right? This is not a strong lyrical selection of songs. I also realized that Shots is essentially the Girls Gone Wild of popular music. Like, that is the exact aesthetic of this song. And it really is, as Johnny alluded to, just a list of things that Lil Jon is screaming about. Just lists of things, binders full of things.
He's made millions just listing things screaming.
He's done very well with it. So thank you very much.
We applaud you.
We do.
Jon.
Snaps, shots for him. I'm going to talk about the only time probably we'll ever discuss Escape, the Pina Colada song, or its artist Rupert Holmes on this podcast. Escape is a song that could only exist in the sweaty, slutty 1970s, and indeed, it was the very last number one song to be released in that decade. That is true. Escape is a storytelling song about a guy who's bored with his longtime girlfriend. After reading a personal ad in the local newspaper, that statement means nothing to anyone born after the year 1990, by the way. He decides that he's going to ditch his lady, meet this total stranger in a bar, and run off together based on their shared love of fruity, creamy cocktails, hatred of yoga and health food, and walking through rainstorms unprotected like some kind of psychopath. But plot twist, when he shows up to meet his mystery woman, it is in fact his actual girlfriend who is also bored with him, and they laugh about their near-miss mutual abandonment and have a happy ending as ethically challenged whores. Fun fact, the pina colada in the song was a last-minute addition. He initially was going to include the line, if you like Humphrey Bogart and getting caught in the rain, but he decided he had done too many movie references in his songs and instead switched it to the tropical cocktail invented in Puerto Rico. Would the song have been as popular without the cocktail reference? Debatable. People did love sluts in the 1970s, and that component of the song is there regardless. So, Zach, is it going to be pina colada or shots?
I mean, I think sluts are still popular in other decades, right, Eric?
I'm right here, Zach, but thank you. Yes.
I'm sorry. Gosh, I could go with either one, and I'm going to stick with shots. I love Pina Colada song, but I'm going to stick with shots.
Andrea, you like me enjoy it's disgusting, right? It's not a refreshing drink, but it's a pina colada. What do you think?
So that's what I was going to say is, like, if I was reading an ad looking for a hookup and the guy was like, I love pina coladas, and I'd be like, this man is gay. I'm not meeting up with him. No, it's just unreasonable. And just rereading the lyrics to that song, I honestly had never, paid close enough attention to them. All I knew was if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, and then you trail off. I am going to switch my vote over to shots.
I don't blame you, because it really is, they're morally reprehensible. These people have the morals of guinea pigs, but it was a popular song. That means it is 3 for shots, and it will move into round 2. Next, it's 2 unanimous decisions from our panelists, which chugged down 2-seed Tequila by the Champs, leaving 3-seed Closing Time by Semisonic, a self-fulfilling prophecy, and 1-seed Tubthumping by Chumbawumba, meaning time was up for 4-seed TikTok by Kesha, but Johnny wanted to say something about the artist formerly known as Key $sign Ha, with the stock market crash that has turned her $sign into a cent sign, making her Kesha. Johnny, please go.
I was going to talk about the Key $sign Ha because I think she embodies everybody had that moment in their early 20s, especially if you were of a certain persuasion. And I think she just made sure that there is some sort of musical statement of how you just ended up in somebody else's bedroom or bathroom. You don't know how you got there. And at the end of the day, she has risen beyond the person who's mentioned in the first lyric and the person who produced that song. So we love you, Kesha, now without the dollar sign.
We love you, Kesha. We love you.
With or without dollar signs.
Exactly. Sadly, that we will still be moving Tubthumping into round 2. Next, the panel was evenly divided between 3-seed Fireball by Pitbull and 2-seed Razor Glass by Pink. Andrea, tell us why your tastes are still burning for Fireball. Johnny, make a toast to Pink. Johnny, please go first.
So first, I'm going to raise my glass to this third Hot 100 #1 hit by Pink from 2010's greatest hits so far. If you did not know, it was a part of the co-writing of Max Martin, the powerhouse that did Britney X Tina, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and more. So this is Pink's inspiration to be celebratory for those feeling outcast. I think that is very on brand for Pink in the post misunderstood era, just kind of talking about not being that typical type of pop star. And really, she's singing that to everybody else. It's like she's saying in the chorus, raise your glass if you were wrong in all the right ways. All my underdogs, we will never be anything but loud, nitty gritty, dirty little freaks. And if you're too school for cool, I love that line. That's just such a great line. And my favorite line is, I think it's a complete throwaway. She goes, oh, his glass is empty. That sucks. And whether or not that was part of the written lyrics or that was just her just fucking around in the studio, and how many times that's worked out. Many times. And then the video is a celebration of her best friend's wedding. She was a lesbian and she got married in real life. And her mother was like, this should have been legal. I don't know why it wasn't. Remember, 2010, this totally different world. I think just the fact that you can just yell and raise your glass. Yeah, raise your glass. Let's celebrate. It's not necessarily have to be as much about drinking, because I don't think it is. There's a little bit talking about it, but it's more about celebrating everybody's flaws and their eccentricities in a way that adds a little bit to the alcoholness of it all. So raise your glass. To raise your glass.
Andrea, talk to us about Fireball.
This is a little bit of a battle of I could care less for either of these songs. So I would just like to list off some fun facts about Fireball by Mr. Worldwide himself.
Yes, please do.
This song went triple platinum very easily. It is the song that's played whenever the Chicago White Sox hit a home run. And it was also the song that was used in the opening number for the Miss Universe 2020 pageant. So I don't know what else you guys need, really. But Pitbull always has epitomized the feeling of being in a club and drinking, and his whole shtick is my mom told me I was gonna make it, and here I am drinking and hanging out with a bunch of hot girls, and that's what everyone wants when they're drinking Fireball. I just don't like Raise Your Glass, personally. I prefer mid-90s Pink versus late 2000s Pink. And it's Mr. Worldwide.
Zach, talk to me. Is it going to be Fireball or is it going to be Raise Your Glass?
Similar to Andrea, I could go either way on this one. But Pink is badass and scares the shit out of me. I love her. I'm going to stick with Raise Your Glass just because I like the story part of it and the message in it.
I like the message of Pitbull's Fireball because I love Fireball whiskey. I do. I love it. I love cinnamon flavored everything, and I think it's delicious. I also think, in case you don't know this, Pitbull is actually an incredibly philanthropic person. He gives away a lot of money to a lot of people. So if you're listening to this, Mr. Bull, I just want to say I appreciate you. I respect what you do. I love your cinnamon flavored whiskey song, and keep doing what you're doing. But that being said, we will be moving Pink and Razor Glass into round 2 because it is the higher seed, a 2-seed versus 3-seed Fireball. One last unanimous pick by the panel in round 1, but as Garth Brooks's Friends in Low Places, a 1-seed was held in higher esteem than 4-seed Rehab by Amy Winehouse. Now, Andrea, that surprised me because I know that you're a huge Amy Winehouse fan. I'm curious what your thinking was there.
As much as I do love that song, Rehab kind of has a negative connotation compared to the rest of the alcohol songs. It's about enjoying alcohol versus being an alcoholic. And Friends in Low Places, again, iconic songs across the board. This one is one that when it plays at the bar, everyone is singing along. Could say the same for Rehab, but it's not nearly as fun and uplifting.
Yeah, it's a bit dark, which honestly is the reason I also voted for Friends on Low Places. But since we are in that moment in the show, I'll also say we are talking about alcoholic songs, but please do not be an alcoholic. Please drink responsibly. Please use an Uber or a taxi or get a friend to drive you home, because we are not in any way condoning drinking and driving. Finally, in round one, it's one last split decision, as half the panel wants to have a little fun before it dies, and for 3 seed All I Wanna Do by Sheryl Crow to move forward, while the other half is easing into lazy boober vibes of 2 seed Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. I will lick the salt off the rim as I serve up my reason for Rita, but first, Zach, this ain't no disco, and it ain't no country club either. This is the great pop culture debate. Speak on behalf of Sheryl Crow. Hit it.
All right. Well, Sheryl, Tuesday Night Music Club. This is mid-'90s, I think. It actually is. It was inspired by, I believe, a poem, which she gives credit to. Wynn Cooper, I believe, had written it originally as fun. It was all based around what was going on in the 90s with Sheryl and her band in Los Angeles, and they just wrote this song together about, hey, we're drinking. All we want to do is have fun. It's a popular, go on out, all about the nightlife of getting out, having fun with your friends, with your family. Alcohol isn't the main focus, but it is a large part of it because it tells a story about a single person in a bar watching and talking about everything that's going on around them. And it's a fun, not uplifting, but fun, upbeat song that I enjoy. And it's still very popular, over 254 million streams online. And we don't have enough females also in this bracket. So that was another part of my decision, is looking at, there's girls that know how to drink. They know how to write songs, and Sheryl Crow is one of them.
That's a great point. This is a real sausage fest of a bracket, so thank you for bringing that to light. I have always felt that Margaritaville sums up much of the American boomer ethos. The mediocre white man using blanched island sounds and singing longingly about getting wasted so as to not deal with his self-inflicted problems. Look around you. Look at it. We're soaking in it. The 1977 song is, without question, the biggest hit of Buffett's career, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard chart and giving its name to the various businesses in his hospitality empire: restaurants, hotels, cruises, casinos, gift shops, and even a retirement community, my God, how grim, targeted at exactly who you think they would be listening to this song. And if you know that clientele, you know that they do not need any salt for the rims, because they are salty enough all the time. The funny thing about this song is that the initial version of it was Buffett offering a string of complaints about life on the beach. That's honestly true. And there was an additional verse about old men ogling the young women of the islands. All of this adds to my feelings about this song basically being the Rosetta Stone for aging boomers. But you cannot deny its power in popular culture. It is basically like, you say Margaritaville, you know exactly what it sounds like. You know exactly the vibe. You know who's going to be grooving to this song in their chinos and their like slip-on shoes. Like, it is potent. I might not like it, but I respect what it has done as a song. I don't think I'm doing a very good job stumping for it, but Andrea, where are you voting here?
I voted for Margaritaville, and I'm going to stick with it. I honestly didn't even know that Sheryl Crow song was about alcohol. Not on my radar, just honestly. But yeah, like you said, Margaritaville has spawned an entire culture of businesses and cruises and events, and I'm just now learning there's a Margaritaville retirement home, which you say no, I say absolutely. That is the dream. That is the American dream, in fact.
Why don't we make a Fireball retirement home with Pitbull and just make it spicy? That's what I'm saying.
They can be right next to each other.
Yeah.
Fireball did do a contest that was going to give you free Fireball for the rest of your life. You just had to be 85 to win.
Oh.
And yeah, they were going to give you like $12,000, which was their estimate to the rest of your life in Fireball value.
That's actually pretty grim too. I'm actually loving this. Thank you for this American dystopia moment. Johnny Minogue, is it going to be Margaritaville or is it going to be All I Want to Do?
I initially voted for All I Want to Do because how many songs actually mention the word Datsun in it? It's like shiny Datsuns. I don't think they have shiny Datsuns anymore. They haven't made those in about 50 years. But I think Margaritaville is a more kind of well-known drinking song. And I mean, All I Want to Do is great, but we're going with Margaritaville. I don't have my lost shaker of salt. I don't know where it is.
Neither does he. Actually, he's dead. I can't make fun of him. But we will be moving Margaritaville into round 2, and that's the end of round 1. We're going to take a quick break to have sex in the champagne room. You can't stop us, Chris Rock. We'll be right back.
Hey there! If you're enjoying this episode of The Great Pop Culture Debate, and I sure hope you are, we would love for you to consider supporting the show on Patreon. Patreon sponsorships start at $5 a month and include loads of great perks, including access to our super active Discord server, exclusive episodes, and warm-ups you won't hear anywhere else. And at the $10 level or higher, your own GPCD tote bag, which is only fitting, as this is basically our version of an NPR pledge drive. We can only produce this show with your support, so please consider heading to patreon.com/greatpopculturedebate and joining us today.
And we are back for round 2 of our best drinking song debate. Before we get into the Elite 8, I want our panelists to share their social media, what else they're working on, and we're also enjoying our favorite adult beverages, so I would love for them to share what that is. I'd like to start with Andrea Guerrero. What are you doing? Where can people find you? And what are you drinking?
So you can find me on Instagram, and I guess I'm on Blue Sky. I don't do anything with it. Dre Souffle. I have an Etsy shop, Dre Souffle Designs, where you can buy stickers and decals, and I just uploaded prints, so you can buy some of my original artwork as well. I am employed at Coopersville Brewing Company in West Michigan, so if you're in that area, highly check it out. Great beer, great food. In the meantime, I have a day job that is a little impacted by the tariff situation, so we're just vibing.
Yep.
We're just riding along, you know?
Yep.
And speaking of which, I'm drinking my favorite summer drink, which is a Calimocho, which is half red wine and half Coca-Cola, specifically from the glass bottles. Better if it's imported from Mexico, over a full glass of ice. Half and half ratio, super easy, super refreshing. A+ would recommend, 5 stars.
That sounds delicious, especially on a hot summer day. So thank you for walking us through nature there. Johnny Minogue, what are you doing? Where can people find you? And what is your alcoholic beverage of choice?
So I host trivia every Tuesday night at Club Cafe in Boston, 8 p.m. Join us, clubcafe.com/reserve. I'm also once a month on WZBC 90.5 FM at Boston College with my friend John Whitney, and we are Duo Turbid Radio. It's fun, it's crazy, it can be a little bit queer, sometimes a lot of bit queer, and you can find me on pretty much everything as Johnny Minogue, one word, no H, just like Kylie. She was on tour, so you should know how to spell her now. I think I'm on this Polish app called Blueski. I think that's what it's called. So yes, I have those. So those are what I'm doing. My favorite drink of choice, I mentioned it in the opening, Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc, although if I'm not having too much agita, I do like a michelada, which is a tomato juice and beer mix, which is kind of like a Bloody Mary, but a little less potent. But it's delicious. It just gives me a little bit of the heartburn. You know, you're getting a little older. You can only do so much.
Absolutely. Omeprazole saved me. Thank you very much. Zach Derby, where can people find you? What you doing? And what is your beverage?
Well, they can find me still on most of the socials for Zach Deuce through the Twitter and the Blueski, as Johnny says. What are we currently working on? Well, over at Podcasters Assemble, we are going to be releasing the 3rd film of Back to the Future. That's our current season that we are working on. So that would, depending on when this drops, submissions may have already been closed for that film. So that will be dropping late July, early August. And then my favorite drink in the summer, if it's a beer, I'll go for a nice German Kolsch, but I didn't have that, so I went with some whiskey or bourbon because I drink the whiskey drink.
Indeed. And what is your favorite type of whiskey? I'm curious.
Oh, it's either Four Roses or Bullet.
Okay.
Both are delicious.
Great. Thank you. I'll go over my drink first. So I actually am enjoying a whiskey ginger. That is my particular favorite drink. I know it's supposed to be something like 1 shot of whiskey and then a bunch of ginger ale. I do significantly more whiskey than that. My preferred whiskey is actually bourbon. I like Maker's Mark. That is my favorite brand. We don't have any because the homosexuals that frequent my home apparently drank all of it, so I had to resort to Jim Beam. Welcome to my world. But you can find us on Blue Sky at gpcd.bsky.social or at gpcd on Mastodon. You should also make sure to subscribe to our page on YouTube, where we'll be going to be posting more original video content this year. But what you really must do right now, put down that drink, sign up for our weekly newsletter, new every Tuesday at noon. It tells you about everything coming out in pop culture that week. Sign up by finding the link on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or via our link tree on any of our social media accounts. Now let's get into round two, which will be served with an adorable tiny umbrella. First up, it may be a first on the Great Pop Culture Debate, as a unanimous victory in round one now looks to be a unanimous boot in round two, as UB40's Red Red Wine might be going sideways compared to Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg, a 2-seed. I do want to ask, is anyone here voting for Red Red Wine? Johnny, is it Gin and Juice?
It's Gin and Juice, and I'm sticking white wine anyway.
Okay. Andrea, Gin and Juice or Red Red Wine?
I am going to stick with Gin and Juice, but we have not really talked about Red Red Wine. And as far as songs about alcohol goes, red wine really does make you forget things, which is the whole premise of the song, is trying to forget an ex-lover. So shout out to UB40, whoever they are. I don't know any other UB40 songs, and I just looked at their picture and there's like 20 of them in the group. So sticking with Gin and Juice.
They were known for doing their covers.
Yes.
They can't help falling in love. They just did covers. I don't think they did anything else.
Got it.
And Red Red Wine was originally a Neil Diamond song, which I didn't even know. And I listened to the original song, and it's not good. And I like Neil Diamond, but I assume that they're UB40 because if you drink enough Red Red Wine, the 20 people in the double vision become 40. So there you have it. Zach, is it going to be Red Red Wine or is it going to be Gin and Juice?
Oh, wow. UB40 hasn't done... Oh, I mean, yeah, they do the covers, but it's Gin and Juice here.
Yeah. I'll make it a clean sweep for it. I will say about Red Red Wine, I hated the song as a kid. I hated it. I hated the whiny quality to the voices. I don't think I understood what reggae was. The whole thing sounded drunk to me, which I guess in the long run is actually a success on the part of the song. But there you go. I do think that UB40's version is better than the Neil Diamond version, but it's up against Snoop Dogg and Gin and Juice. And one of these songs has a whole line about a bunch of women going to town on each other in his living room until 6 a.m. And I got to vote for that. I just have to. It's my duty. So we'll be moving Snoop into the final four. Next, I think it's another unanimous decision. It's going to be a quick round with Tequila by the Champs, a 2-seed, again worming its way forward, this time leaving 1-seed Shots by LMFAO and Little John broke off and dozed off in our competition. But we have yet to even discuss Tequila. Johnny, do you want to agave the song a shot?
Sure, let's talk a little bit about. I mean, this is one of those songs that everybody knows, and you really don't even need to have heard it to know all the lyrics because it's one word 3 times.
Yeah.
It's 74 times less than the Shots, but it's by the Champs. If you did not know, they were a band in the late 50s. They were only together for a few years, but then reconnected in 2020, not with all of the original members. Daniel Flores, who was the member who wrote the song and uttered that one lyric, Tequila. He wrote that, and it was actually based off of a Cuban mambo song called Como mi ritmo no hay dos, by a group by Chachao. And I think it's beyond just the song. It is a pop culture amazing power. It's been covered by more than 50 artists. It has been in movies such as Pee-wee's Adventure, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and if you need to do karaoke and you're forced to do karaoke, this is the perfect one to do because all you got to do is stand there and then utter the word tequila when you need to. I think it's one of those, not just a drinking song, it's a American pop culture moment, and it has lasted for 65, 66 years at this point, and it's not going away. It's pretty much the ultimate drinking song. I can't really say anything more than that because it speaks for itself in the 3 words that they say.
Tequila. All right, so we will be moving Tequila into the final four. Next, the bulk of the panel wants to keep pissing the night away with 1 seed Tubthumping by Chumbawumba, but Zach isn't done celebrating 2 seed Raise Your Glass by Pink. Zach, give us 2 in the pink, 1 in the drink. Andrea, take a whiskey drink, take a vodka drink, take a lager drink, take a cider drink, and keep singing the praises of Tubthumping. Zach, please go first.
With these 2 songs, either one will, going forward, is fine with me. Again, here it was, I was looking at who did I want to move forward, the better song overall. I think Chumbawumba actually is the better drinking song for pure drinking purposes. So I will actually make this easy and switch my vote for Tubthumping.
Okay, that being said, though, I would love, Andrea, will you still talk about the fact that I'm saying the words Chumbawumba and Tubthumping in the year of our Lord 2025 is sending me, but why don't you talk about that song?
And this is not the first time that we have talked about this song in this band on this podcast. It's also not the first time that I have talked about this song in this band on this podcast. I love Tubthumping. I love Chumbawumba in general. And it's great if you only know this one song by Chumbawumba, because it is an anomaly in their catalog. They are like a punk anti-fascist band, super loud, and then they like have this weird kind of dance hall song. But the writer, I can't remember his name right now, has gone on record as saying that like this song is supposed to celebrate the tenacity and the resilience of working class people who keep fighting when the chips are down. And what better representation for 2025 currently than a song like this, when the working class does have so much to lose more than usual. But I mean, they literally drink every drink in this song. I don't know how much more alcoholic you can get when it comes to all these songs on the bracket. It's just a really fun song. It's one of those songs that, again, when it comes onto the bar, everyone is singing along with the Danny Boy chorus, pissing the night away. We've all been there, done that.
Yeah, great argument. So we'll be moving Tubthumping by Chumbawumba into the final four. Finally, in round 2, I hope you like Dry White, because that's your choice. It's between 2 seed Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett up against 1 seed Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. Johnny, tell us why you still find Low Places a musical oasis. Andrea, demand to speak to the manager, as any patron of a Margaritaville resort is wont to do, as you take another pass at the Jimmy Buffet. Andrea, please go first.
I don't really know what else more needs to be said about Margaritaville. It truly is just like the perfect drinking song. You can sway along to it when you're already a few margaritas deep. And I think they lost their salt shaker because they never had one, because these white people are drinking frozen margaritas.
It's true.
100%.
Yep. Absolutely. Drag them, ruin their lives. So I want to hear about, we haven't really talked about Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. So Johnny, talk to me about that little ditty.
Yeah, is this the first time we talked about Garth Brooks on this podcast?
Absolutely the first time we've ever talked about Garth Brooks. Also the first time we've talked about Jimmy Buffett. And like, I normally don't touch male country because it's a little much for me, right? But Garth Brooks was a huge part of pop culture, and I don't think like millennials and Gen Z necessarily realize that, but like massive, like Oprah-sized, right?
He was one of the biggest selling like arena tours at the end of the last millennium. And
Yep.
I mean, he was just an absolute phenom. He was up there with like Michael Jackson and
Yep.
Madonna, but he was country, but he still was, taking every. I think I was going to say, it's like we probably discussed Trisha Yearwood.
We have.
on this, but we have not discussed her husband.
That's right.
So this is another song that is very tied with karaoke. I feel like a lot of these drinking songs are very much karaoke, because drinking, singing, it all puts in together. This actually was inspired by a visit to a Nashville eatery called Tavern on the Row, and they actually didn't have the money to pay for their bill, and he goes like, "Don't worry, I have friends in low places. I know the cook." So that's how it got inspired. They wrote it on a napkin, all the lyrics to the song. And it just tells about the story of a guy who was, rough around the edges and going to break up his former girlfriend, wife, not necessarily sure, ruining his black tie affair, and trying to take her down from the ivory tower that you're in. And just singing about where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. It is one of those things where they're talking about singing together and being together in this bar, but we really are kind of pieces of shit at the end of the day, and we're okay with that. And in a way, that's an ultimate drinking song, because we all know the first drink, you feel nice, you feel cool. After how many shots? Not 77 like Lil Jon, but a few. You start to feel a little bit less déclassé. So this is a great song. I was introduced by a very cute boy in a cowboy hat at a bar in Boston who used to sing it. He was also a tennis instructor. So I don't know how that worked out, being a cowboy and a tennis instructor. But in any event, he was the one who made me love Friends in Low Places. And I hope it moves on to the next round.
Yeah, some cowboys bull ride, he ball rides. So I love that. Zach, is it going to be Friends in Low Places or going to be Margaritaville?
I'm going to go with Friends in Low Places.
I am too. We already talked about the fact that, yes, I think Margaritaville has a greater pop culture, probably currency, especially now. Literally, it's everywhere in every third tier resort town in America, and I'm just dragging the Jimmy Buffett experience. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. Fuck him. But I think Friends in Low Places, it is a great drinking song. It's a great drinking song, and it does speak to being a total piece of shit, which I think is important for going on a total bender, and I'm glad that we have that vibe in this Final Four. So with that, we have our Final Four. We're going to take a quick break to get 3 fingers from our bartender. I said what I said. We'll be right back after these messages.
Another email newsletter? God, I know. But listen, the Great Pop Culture Debate newsletter, it's actually useful. Give us 3 minutes of your lunch break, and we'll tell you all the coolest new stuff in pop culture that week. The biggest new movies in theaters, the hottest new albums about to drop, the TV shows everyone will be talking about. We bring it to you every fall. It's all thriller and no filler, and you'll also find out all the fun news from the podcast. Subscribe today at greatpopculturedebate.com/subscribe.
And we are back with the Final Four of our best drinking song debate. At this point in the show, I always like to just take a step back and see if it ended up where I thought it would. I didn't necessarily think this would be our Final Four, but I think it's a great Final Four. I also like to add at this point that no matter which option wins, we are celebrating all of these entries, and I hope nobody gets salty about what comes next, unless that salt is on the rim of a margarita glass. So we have Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg, a 2-seed, versus Tequila by The Champs, also a 2-seed. Tubthumping by Chumbawumba, a 1-seed, versus Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks, a 1-seed. I'm going to start with Johnny. Gin and Juice versus Tequila. Where are you going on this one?
I'm going with Jose and going with Tequila.
Okay. Andrea, is it going to be Gin and Juice or Tequila?
I have stumped for Gin and Juice this whole time, but it's going to be Tequila for me.
Zach, Tequila or Gin and Juice?
Tequila.
You did a much better version than I did. I like Tequila, the song, much more than I enjoy Tequila, the alcohol, to be honest with you. Gin and Juice has had a great run. I do think it deserves to be here. It has a completely different vibe than anything else on this group. But to me, Tequila, I think Johnny kind of alluded to this. It's more than just, it is a song that is now 60 years old. It's multiple generations. You hear it walking through the drugstore this evening, picking up travel-sized toothpastes. I was bopping it out to Tequila, right? It's got a power to it. I just love it. And I'm glad it's moving into the final 2. And then it's Tubthumping versus Friends in Low Places. Andrea, is it going to be Tubthumping or Chumbawumba or Garth Brooks? The question on everyone's mind.
Those are 2 different questions. Chumbawumba or Garth Brooks versus Tubthumping and Friends in Low Places.
Good point.
Very different questions.
Very, very different.
Regardless, I am going to go with Tubthumping.
Okay. Zach, Tubthumping or Friends in Low Places?
I got to keep thumping the tub. Sorry.
That's okay. Johnny Minogue, Tubthumping, or Friends in Low Places?
Oh, Danny boy. It's Tubthumping.
Make it a clean sweep. I'm glad we talked about Garth. I do think if you want to hear us talk more about Garth Brooks and other male country stars, please respond to this episode. I'm not opposed to it, but you need to give me a compelling reason to do so. Speaking of compelling, Tubthumping and Chumbawumba, what a ride it was in the late 90s.
Yeah.
If you weren't there to experience it, I can't explain it to you. I can tell you exactly what the CD looked like. By the way, this is one of those cases where you bought the CD for one song on it. As Andrea alluded to, nothing else in this band's catalog sounded like this song. But you listen to it like, oh shit, I just paid $10 at Media Play for something for one song. But god damn it, it's a good song. And specifically, it's a great drinking song, which gives us a final two of Tequila by the Champs versus Tubthumping by Chumbawumba. Two one-hit wonders battling it out for victory, and it's not even a one-hit wonder bracket. Zach Derby, which one is it going to be?
Either one of these, I'll be happy with which wins. I feel like Tequila is the one I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I could easily go either way, but I'm going to stick with Tequila.
Okay, Andrea Guerrero, is it going to be Tubthumping or Tequila?
I have Tequila as my number one pick going through this whole bracket, and I'm going to stick with it. Like I said before, my rubric was kind of, are we getting the vibes of the alcohol that's being discussed or what's happening in the evening? The song, the music of Tequila, the crunchy horns, the one-word lyric, I don't know if you've drank tequila before, but that's what it sounds and feels like is this song. And I think that is enough to make it the all-time winner.
Johnny Minogue, is it going to be Tubthumping or Tequila?
I had Tubthumping going through it to the end, but I was thinking about this earlier today, and I really think that Tequila is a better drinking song. You can get more people involved in Tequila. Tubthumping is an awesome song, but at the end of the day, the whole damn room can sing Tequila. Tubthumping can't necessarily always be that way, so I'm going with Tequila.
And they can dance. We haven't even discussed the Pee Wee Herman Tequila dance, right? Which this is a video medium, so we can finally do this. Like anyone can do that. And, you get Nana a couple shots in, you put on tequila, and she's going to get down. She's going to get funky. You were going to say something, Johnny?
I was going to say, I am wearing platform shoes, so I just want you to know.
In
so
honor.
it's like I was dancing for it. I mean, although these are wedges, but even still.
God bless and R.I.P. Pee Wee Herman. I think that means that we're going to give it to Tequila. There you have it, folks. Our pick for the best drinking song is Tequila by the Champs. Do you agree? Do you think we have lowered the bar? Tell us how you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or by finding us on Blue Sky or Mastodon. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear about what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. I want to say thank you to my panel. Every hour is a happy hour when I get to spend it with you. And thank you for listening. If you love what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can get even more exclusive content and you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. We hope you have a wonderful summer. And in all seriousness, please drink responsibly.